3 things that scare people from becoming a plumber. Number 1, I'm glad you came to Dallas to shoot a video with us. Tell everybody who you are, where they can find you, and what you do.
I'm Sean Strong. You can primarily find me on Instagram, Blue Collar Boom. I'm on Roger's subreddit, and I run his Discord, so get in there and chat with us.
Guys, this video is sponsored by the Trade Talks. The Trade Talks are where you can learn everything you need to know about how to get into the trades, how to become a better tradesman, how to start your own business, and how to use networking and social media to grow your business. So check out thetradetalks.com and see if you can find what you're looking for. And we're gonna talk about 3 things that might scare people from getting into plumbing. The first one would be getting on a ladder, getting on a roof, things like that. Do you know people in the trades that are afraid of heights?
I know a few that are afraid of heights, but it's part of the job. But usually in residential service, you don't have to get on the roof unless you really want to.
How often in a week do you really get on a roof?
In a week, less than 1.
Okay. So I know people that have said, look, I don't want to be a plumber because I may have to get on a roof. Probably in my career, I would say I may have gotten on a roof about once a month. Does that sound about right? Maybe more than that, less than that for you?
That sounds about right. If I get on a roof, it's because I didn't want to work in that bathroom. It was too small.
And do you get on 2-story roofs? Do you get on extra pitch roofs? Do you get on stuff like that?
Usually just a 1-story, but I've been on a couple that have had some pitch on them.
And I don't get on those. So don't let just the fact that you may have to get on a roof one day, and if you want to get into plumbing, just talk to the owner of the company and say, look, I'm sorry, I don't get on roofs. I'm afraid I don't know how to fly.
Besides, I can't fly.
I'll teach you.
And maybe they won't make you get on one.
Maybe not.
Now, that's just one. Another one is poop. I have so many people tell me I cannot get into plumbing because I'm afraid of touching poop. But they'll get into electrical where they can get shocked and die. How often do you actually have poop on your body?
Very seldom.
It blows my mind because people really think I can't be a plumber because of that. But here's the thing, if you're unclogging a toilet, crawling around in a sewer ditch or anything like that, there's PPE you can wear to help keep that off you.
Sure.
Do you have all that?
Yeah, we've got all that. You got face shields, you got eyeglasses, gloves. Gloves are a big one.
The right kind of gloves are great ones too. You don't want jersey gloves if you're gonna be touching poop, because then it's just gonna be like a poop sponge you're wearing.
You see this? You shit on my pants.
Well, you soak it in and it makes you stronger.
You know, and that's one thing about plumbers. While we're talking about poop, how often do you get sick?
Not often.
I think plumbers have this built up immune system from all the crap, that's a technical term right now, from all the crap that we touch each and every day. And we're just around it, not touch it each and every day. Don't get me wrong. I don't want you to say, Roger, you just said you don't touch poop. Now you're saying each and every day. But I think that when we are around it, our bodies build this immune system. And we may not be touching it directly. It may be a sewer pipe or something like that. But that's 2 things. Getting on a roof, look, it's not that big a deal. You don't have to do it often. Now, I will tell you though, back to getting on a roof, when I was doing commercial, we hired this young apprentice. And we were working on a hospital job. And I sent him with a journeyman up to the 5th floor to put sleeves out. They were getting ready to pour it. So they carried drawings up, they went up, and this plumber calls me and he says, Roger, you need to come up here now. And I get up, and this apprentice had climbed the ladder, gone through the scuttle hole to get on the floor, the scuttle hole where the elevator would be or whatever was there. And he climbs up and he walks about 10 feet and he looks up and realizes he's that high off the ground. This young man had like wet his britches and was just standing here shaking and tears were running down his face.
Did I tell you I'm scared of heights?
And he cannot move. So it took me a couple of minutes to get up there and they're like, Roger, we can't get him to move. He's frozen. And I walked up and got right in front of his face. I said, look, I need you to look at me. And I got his attention. So we talked for a little bit. And I said, look, I'm gonna grab your shoulders and I'm gonna get you to turn around. We're gonna go back and face it. I'm putting my back to the stairs and I'm walking across, post-tension cables, rebar, whatever's on the floor. And he did. He spun with me. So now, okay, I'm gonna walk backwards and I want you to stay right with me. and we were just taking little bitty half steps. And I mean, in the beginning, it's like, okay, move your left foot forward, move it, move it, move it. And he'd look and he'd move it. And we slowly went all the way. And then, okay, I'm gonna turn back around. Now there's a ladder right behind you. He was that afraid of it. Now that's somebody that I can understand. Maybe you don't get into plumbing. But now the third one, and your shirt talks a lot about it, crawl spaces.
But what you're saying is whoever goes into that crawl space is not coming back.
I remember as a plumber, probably one of the first jobs I went on as a licensed plumber. I go to this house, lady has a leak in a crawl space. I open the crawl space, there's about 6 inches of water. I could hear the leak. So I get in there to go find out where it is. I mean, I had put down floor saving, I had done everything I could do, but I crawled around in it. Now I don't do that anymore. Now I'd be like, I gotta shut this off. We gotta let this dry out. We gotta put a pump down here. We gotta put a fan in here. Now I'm a little smarter these days. Does getting down in a crawl space bother you at all?
Not anymore. The first time I had to get in a crawl space, I had a micro panic attack, and I had to give myself a pep talk and decide if I'm going to do this because it's part of the job. So I took a little breather, and then I said it's time to get to work, and I haven't had a problem since.
A lot of people are afraid of skunks, snakes, spiders. Skunks.
I don't like snakes.
So, you know, I don't like them, but how many times have you ever seen one in a crawl space?
I fortunately have not seen any snakes in a crawl space.
Notice he said yeah. It's always possible. Now, the only time that I've ever kind of got afraid in the crawl space, I looked back in the corner and saw eyeballs looking at me. But I kept watching. I noticed they didn't blink. I finally moved around a little bit, pulled out a light and shined back there, and it was an old teddy bear that had been thrown in the corner. And something about the light and where it was, I could see two eyeballs eyeballing me. And I was like, ruh-roh. You ever have any problems like that? Anything you've actually ran into under a house that did scare you?
Nothing that scared me, but I did change a sill faucet under a house one time. And then when I rolled over to get something, I realized I'd been laying on the cat that had been down there for I don't know how long. He was stiff in bones.
Be careful about that. The only thing really I ran into under a crawl space that scared me is an ex-wife, but I forgot that's where I hid the body. Okay, I'm joking. Anyway, look, you can deal with anything in plumbing. If you're afraid to get under a crawl space, get enough lights in there, you can see everything. It's just like anything else. If you can see it, there's nothing to be afraid of because chances are there's nothing there. Guys, if any of these reasons are reasons you're not getting into plumbing because you're scared, let me tell you what, it's not worth not getting into the trades for. These little things, this is stuff you can get over. If you love this video, you're definitely gonna love the next one.